What is up, fight fans? Will back once again for another fight card here. We're going to be breaking down UFC Fight Night 111 from Kelang in Singapore as Holm faces off against Bethe Correia in the main event here. I think the main card is really good. This fight card is going to be on UFC Fight Pass. It's going to start at 9:30 AM, I believe it is, on Saturday morning, which I'm really looking forward to, which is going to be awesome. Breakfast with some fights. Who can complain about that? Overall, I think the card's pretty decent. I think that the main card's very good. There is fighters on the undercard. I'm really looking forward to seeing some newcomers here. So yeah, nonetheless, looking forward to it. If you can please like, comment, subscribe. You guys are awesome. You really have got behind me, and I really appreciate that. The subscriptions have went through the roof. Your comments, every card have been awesome. Insightful stuff, insightful picks. That's what I want. And thank you so much for all the support. You've always been great with me, and you've always helped me along. So thumbs up to you guys. Thank you so much. Coming off UFC Auckland last week, a bit of a so-so card for me picks wise. I was a little bit off with a few of those picks. I kind of changed my mind on Pichel halfway through the week. I thought he was going to get it done with his grappling. Turned out he got a beautiful KO. Stupid play going with Derek Lewis. I knew on the video that I should have went with Mark Hunt. It was a pick that I really should have made. I was really wanting to go with Mark Hunt, and why I never went with him is just silly. Just the mind getting in the way eventually. So yeah, we're going to move on to this one and say fights I'm looking forward to seeing. Come follow me on Twitter, WillMartin7MMA. You can follow all my bets through Bet MMA Tips and Capper Take. I have kind of went back a little bit on my bets from the start of the year. I've not really did that great. I think with this baby coming's taking my mind off it a little bit, and I've not made great picks on a few of those things. So hopefully when this baby comes, it is due tomorrow, I can maybe start getting back into it a little bit. I'm going to be off for the next few months, just having a bit of time with the family and the baby. So hopefully I can kind of get around to making some successful bets again. I need it. It's the same with DraftKings. I made a great start to the year, won a couple of GPPs, and since then I've kind of just dwindled. So we'll look to get back into that. Also, just like a shout out to the daily fantasy MMA guys. Always do great stuff. A lot of people come to me for DraftKings advice, and I will blatantly say go to the Draft MMA guys on YouTube here, and then on Roto Grinders as well, because they do great stuff, and they're always there if you've got a question regarding it. I go to them if I have a question regarding it. So the other guys to go speak to. But we're going to get into this card. We're going to start off in the women's bantamweight division. We have Yeon Kim against Lucy Pudilova. I was a little bit off with that pick of Chan Mi-jeon last week there. I do think she could have exciting fights coming up in the future. She was the number 3 ranked strawweight coming out of Korea. This is the number 1 ranked strawweight coming out of Korea. So yeah, watch some tape on her. I watched a few bets last week. I watched some her fights this afternoon again just to get myself reacquainted with her. Still got, you can tell she's still a very young fighter, a lot of it improving left to do, but she is good in some various aspects of the game. Her striking, she leaves her chin in the air a little bit too much, she gets hit a little bit. One fight she did get staggered, I forgot her opponent's name, but the one thing with this girl that I really like is she's very good in the ground, and she's very good at finding a way to being on top and really putting a beat down on the opponent there, and she finds submissions as well. Once she gets your back, she seems to find a way to the back quite easily, and her grappling's fairly decent too. But when I think our main aspect of her game that is very good is her jiu-jitsu, and just being heavy on top. I think her strikes, I think she will need to definitely mix up with the strikes here with Pudilova. She's coming off that fight with Lena Landsberg, who I thought it was a really good fight. I seen people give Pudilova that fight, and I can't disagree with them if they thought that. I thought that she put in a really sterling performance. I think she came in short notice as well. She lost to Landsberg, so she had to kind of overcome that mentality of losing to the girl that she was facing again, which can be hard to do, but she gave a good account of herself, lost the fight. We'll see what she's about here in this match here. I like the newcomer here in Kim. I think eventually this is going to find the way to the mats, and I think on the mats, I think that Kim can find various positions where she can move into more dominant positions and rain ground and pound, eventually find a submission. I think she's got a chance of a submission victory in this one if she she's got 15 minutes to find it. I can see a lot of this fight predominantly taking place against the cage, and then her looking for takedowns, and I can see her finding those takedowns. Pudilova, I think, will have the advantage on the feet, because I think that Kim's defense is not great and she can be hit, but I think it's a good matchup for her to come into the UFC here. I'm going to go a submission victory here for Kim. I'm going to go early third round. I think Pudilova will start to kind of gas out a little bit, as will Kim, but I think if the fight hits the ground, she will find a submission, and that's where I see this fight going. So Kim via third round, maybe armbar, rear naked choke, round about there. Probably if I'm going to call one, I'll call it an armbar victory there for Yeon Kim. Flyweight division, this is the guy I'm really looking forward to seeing. Two newcomers to the UFC here who are both undefeated. We have Naoki Inoue against Carl's Johns de Tomas. First of all, I'm going to get out there. I'm a really big admirer of this Naoki Inoue. I've heard about him for the last probably year to 18 months, coming up in the Japanese MMA scene, on the Deeps MMA cards that they have out there. And this kid is really, really good. He's ever improving on the feet. Doesn't really set the world alight on the feet, but he does enough. But once this fight hits the ground, this kid is very dangerous, like very, very good as well. He's got a mix in there of facing half-decent opponents with good records, and then he's facing guys with not so good records. So it's kind of hard to see where he's coming from, but when you see the limited tape that there is of this guy out there, you have to go really searching for him to find the fights. The guy's really, really good down the ground. I didn't realise how good he actually was until I started really looking and paying close attention to it. He transitions very, very well. He's seamless. He's just one of those grapplers. He's very seamless, and he finds his way to positions very quickly, and before you know it, you're in a position where he's got a submission on you, and most of the time he finds a way to get you out of there. So his opponent here, John C. Tomas, fighting out of the Philippines. Just overall a solid fighter. He's 8-0 versus 10-0 in a way here. Overall, he's probably on the feet. I think it's very varying. I don't think there's much between these guys on the feet. Not great. I just think Inoue is just a little bit better in every way in the fight game here. Like, he's just turned 20 years old as well. De Tomas, what I've seen, there's plenty of fights of him on YouTube there you can go see. Just an overall solid pro. Who I think that with a little bit more experience will be good in the UFC. I think it's maybe a little bit early for this guy here, but I do think it's the right time for Inoue to come in there. I'm not going to throw a lot of hype on him saying, he's going to be a future champion or a future contender. I do think he will be very, very good though in the years to come. So I like Inoue in this one. I think on the feet it'll be a little bit back and forward. I think that he will use his speed a little bit more than what De Tomas has. He'll put him against the fence and he'll find maybe a single leg, which I've seen him do in the past, to take it to the ground. And once he kind of gets on the ground, he's just seamless in his movements of moving to different positions, very subtle movements. And I think he will find a submission in this one. So I'm going to go second round submission victory there for Naoki Inoue. Really looking forward to seeing this kid, see what he's got. Bantamweight division with Kwak against Russell Doan. Another fight I'm looking forward to seeing. Another fight I'm looking forward to seeing. It was a tough fight for him in Belfast against Brett Johns, but I thought his heart and his determination and it's just his will to keep on going really impressed me with Kwak in that one. He came out very quick, throw a lot of subtle, really nice, speedy leg kicks. He did come in short notice for that fight. They were flying across the other side of the world. I think it was maybe on a couple of weeks' notice, so that's something that you have to take into consideration. He did gas a little bit, and that was due to Brett Johns also being a really good grappler, securing takedowns and just kind of grinding on him for that fight. And he did take some shots on the feet as well, a nice flying knee from Brett Johns. But I like what I saw from him. I think with this full camp behind him, he's going to be a very speedy striker, very good in the feet. He does have to shoot up his grappling here. I think that Doan can maybe get to him through that grappling here. But I like Kwak. I do like Kwak in this one a little bit. Russell Doan, he moved up. He came in very short notice, like 5 days notice, flying in from Lewis Smolka's corner to fighting Mirsad Bektic, upper weight class. Very, very, very tough thing to do and come in there and look good. and he kind of got blasted out the water by the bigger, I think, better guy, in all honesty. But he's a really solid pro. You know, the Hawaii guys, like right now, the Hawaii fighters are on cloud nine with a new champion. Yancy Medeiros looked good against Eric Silva, so he might have the confidence of his country coming out of there. And he's always did well over in Asia, as Russell when he was the PXC champ over there, and he's had some up and down performances in the UFC, but he's a really solid professional. I just think that Kwak is just better on the feet. I think he can stop Doan, maybe getting him some takedowns. I think that I can see Doan getting some takedowns in the fight, but I can see him stopping the majority of them there. And I see him winning a very, very close 29-28 decision. Wouldn't surprise me if Doan got the nod in this one, but I like Kwak a little bit more. I think if it stays on the feet, he's a little bit sharper, he's got the better footwork, he's a speedier fighter, he throws a nice jab out there as well, which I noticed in his previous fights coming into the UFC. I just like him on the feet a little bit more than Russell Doan here, but I think if Doan wants to win the fight, he has to mix up more. He has to go for more takedowns. He has to use his striking to open up the possibility of takedowns. But I like Kwak. I'm going to go very, very close 29-28 decision for victory for him there. Jianliang against Frank Camacho. Camacho's a newcomer coming in here, 20-4 record. There is fights on YouTube, you can go watch them. I didn't really take much from them, in all honesty. He's fought a lot of guys with pretty bad records. I mean, I think he fought someone with like 2 fights in his 2 fights ago, so with 2 fights on his record, I should say. And he's facing a guy here in Jianliang, who I really like. This guy, I think he's got a lot to offer in the welterweight division. He's strong, very tenacious. And he's got some big power when he wants to unleash it. He unleashed it against Diego Lima a few years ago. He unleashed it against Bobby Nash in his last fight. Really nice to see that he signed a new contract with the UFC, because I think this guy can move up the division. I think with the right team around him, I think he's been going between gyms as well. I think if he can find that right gym, then he can definitely be, maybe, I think, a fighter that just stays in and around that top 15, maybe just making his way in there. I think he's got the ability to do that personally. As I say, coming off that win over Bobby Nash last time, just he took his licks in that fight, but he gave them as well. I think he's just very tenacious. He's got all around a good game, good chin, and I just like him in this matchup against the guy coming in here on short notice. I think he's strong as an ox, very tenacious. And once he plants those feet and starts swinging, Lee is a tough guy to face, and I like him in this one. I'm going to go a round 1 TKO victory there for Jianliang. There's a few bets on this card. The lines haven't been released yet, so I'm going on just what I've seen. There is some big possibility of some bets in this one. I'm looking forward to seeing where the lines come out as, but we'll wait until the lines come out. Hopefully they come out in the next few hours over in the States, and then they get released over here in the UK tomorrow. But the pick will be Lee TKO, end of round number 1. Flyweight division, interesting matchup. Justin Scoggins against Ulka Sasaki. A little bit kind of flummoxed with this one, with Justin Scoggins again dropping back down to 125 after he said he was never going to do that again. Moved up to 135. I thought he had a decent performance against Pedro Munoz, but again, the guy keeps throwing himself into submissions, and I just don't know mentally where the guy is at. He's in between divisions, he doesn't know where to go, and he's got some serious deficiencies in putting his head in the wrong place. On the feet, the kid is a whiz. He's really, really good. Like you cannot not like his striking pretty much. He's a very subtle striker, good feet, nice jab, nice overhand right. Can use those combinations to move into the clinch, where occasionally you've seen him get takedowns, but again he puts himself in positions where he can be caught by jiu-jitsu guys. Now I don't think Ulka Sasaki is a good fighter, in all honesty. I thought he had a half decent fight against Wilson Hayes back earlier on this year, but what the guy is, he's tall, he's very languid, he's very lanky, he's got massive arms, where he could catch a submissions like he did against Willie Gates a couple of years back. I think he can potentially catch guys like that, and Justin Scoggins has clear deficiencies in putting himself in positions where he can be caught with submissions. Saying that, I think he's going to want to keep this standing, and I think once he keeps it standing, he can most definitely win this fight. So that's where I see him. I see him really using that superior striking here to kind of win 3 rounds fairly easily. I'm not confident in the Justin Scoggins pick, and a level I'm probably about 75, probably no, that's a lie, 80%, maybe 85% confident in Justin Scoggins to win this in here, but it would not surprise me if Sasaki catches him in a submission here. I won't be betting him, I will be picking him, but that's all it'll be. Justin Scoggins via a 30-27 decision. Featherweight division, we have Alex Caceres against Rolando Gabriel D. Caceres all day in this one. Watched a couple of fights there before I came on to you guys here of Rolando D, and some funny things happen in these fights. There's 2 or 3 fights where he's been rocked by not big shots. I mean, in the fight with Matsushima, I think it was, he got rocked in that one, but then Matsushima rushed in him and he caught a huge left hook to the ear, put him down. In his last fight against Nelson Paez, that was a no contest. He led in, I think he was going for a takedown, but it was too high and pretty much knocked the guy out with a headbutt. And that fight was called a no contest. Both guys were cut. He looked a little concussed, in all honesty, when you seen him. Coming out the Philippines, he trains a bit with Janelle Lauza, the flyweight, who's got really good boxing skills. And you've seen that in previous fights where he has got good boxing. I think he's a little undersized for a 145 person. I think he could maybe get down to 135. But I just don't like this matchup for him. I like Caceres to be the bigger fighter, the longer fighter. And I can see him catching maybe Rolando with some spinning shit here. I can see him maybe a spin kick, spinning back elbow. I've just got that feeling that he may catch him with something here. Alex Caceres, I mean, he's coming off 2 losses to Yair Rodriguez and Jason Knight, who's probably the 2, along with maybe Hanato Maikano, as being some of the guys in that division who are coming through, maybe Brian Ortega to an extent, who are going to be good fighters for years to come in that division. But I still think if Caceres could beat a couple of those guys personally, on his night, I think he could have beat Yair Rodriguez definitely. I think he could have beat Jason Knight most definitely. I really do think that he can beat the guys he's lost to, but he just needs to make those adjustments. He needs to mature a little bit. Now, he's been in the UFC a long time, but against guys like this who are on the come up, who are maybe on the way out, like Cole Miller was, that performance against Cole Miller was beautiful. He put it all together very, very well in that one. I think he's going to knock out Rolando D here, and I'm going to pick him via a 2nd round TKO victory. I think they're going to come in, they're going to exchange, and I just think he's going to catch him with something really, really nice and put him out. Alex Caceres TKO round 2 there for me. Heavyweight division, we have one of my most confident picks of the card. We have Cyril Asker against Walt Harris. Was watching Walt Harris a few hours ago, and this guy has a lot of tools which I really like in his arsenal. Big left body kick, a really nice right hand, and then he's got a really beautiful straight left, which he put Cody East down with in that last fight with Chase Sherman. I mean, he caught him with a beautiful knee in the clinch, and then came in with a right. I think it was a right then a left. Either that, it was a right or a left or a right. Caught him with a beautiful sequence to finish the fight there, and really looks good. He's really athletic, a huge guy. I remember seeing this guy in Vegas when I was over there for 197, and he was huge. He was so big. One of the bigger heavyweights that I've seen up close and personal. Just a really big guy, really athletic dude. Really nice guy as well, and it's nice to see him putting it all together. He lost that fight to Shamil Abdurakhimov, where Shamil does what Shamil does, and that's just really stifle you in every position, get you down, lay on you, put his big hairy chest on you, and then it's on you to really get out of those positions. And Walt couldn't do that and lost the fight. But I like Walt Harris a lot in this one. Cyril Asker, he's coming off that win over Dmitry Smolyakov back in Phoenix earlier on in January. This guy actually won me a shit ton of money on DraftKings, and I landed one of the GPPs with having him in my lineup. But this is another clear step up for Asker, and I think that Walt Harris, he's got the far better boxing. He's a 2-time Golden Gloves guy out of Alabama. Too precise, too good, too accurate. I think it's going to be. I don't know where Cyril really wins this fight. Could he lay on Walt Harris? Possibly, but I can see Walt Harris bucking him off and then getting back to the feet, and from there I just think he's open to be hit all day long. Pick's going to be Walt Harris. I'm going to go a round one knockout here, TKO. One of my most confident picks, if not my most confident pick of the entire card. Walt Harris, round one TKO. Lightweight division, the legend, the Fireball Kid, Takanori Gomi against John Tuck. Let's face it, I don't think Takanori Gomi should really be fighting anymore. I think he's had his time. He's not looked good. He's losing to decent fighters like Miles Jury. He's only fought, like, he fights once a year, and I always get optimistic for him coming into his fights, but then you realise the guy's really done. He was a Pride legend, a guy back in the day I used to love watching. He used to get so amped when he had a fight lined up. I mean, his last win was over 3 years ago against Isaac Valley Flag. I mean, and he's lost to be fair, he's lost to half decent guys. A couple of the legends of the sport, and Joe Lozon and Jim Millie's been stopped by those guys, and Miles Jury at the time just ran through him. John Tuck, he's lost a couple of split decisions, and he's not the greatest of fighters. He's pretty proficient in everything. He doesn't really stand out in too much. He lost to Josh Emmett, and he lost to Damian Brown. Very, very close fights. The Brown fight, like I said last week, was a very good fight. Gomi can't go any more than a round now. He could come out and catch John Tuck here. I'm just not confident in it. I think if John Tuck fights really smart and just is patient, don't rush into it, because Takanori Gomi hasn't got, I don't think he's got 10 minutes in him, in all honesty. So I'm going to go John Tuck. I'm going to go a late second round TKO. I think once Gomi starts to flag, I think that Tuck will put it on him and put him away, and that should be the last we see of Takanori Gomi in the UFC. Personally, I hope that we don't see him stick around. That'll be 4 in a row. The pick has to be John Tuck. I can't take Gomi in this position. I hope he wins. If Takanori Gomi was to come in here and win, I'd be over the moon, but it's just really playing the inevitable. If he was to win this fight, he was going to get another step up in competition, and he'd probably get knocked out in that one. So smart pick here, I think, is John Tuck. Smart pick also is to pick him by TKO, because he has been knocked out in his last 3. John Tuck, TKO, round number 2. So that's the prelims done. We're moving on to the main card here. All these fights, of course, on UFC Fight Pass, so make sure you check that out. But starting in the welterweight division, with Tarec Saffiedine against the newcomer to the welterweight division in Rafael dos Anjos. Interesting fight. Looking forward to seeing RDA. He's a guy that I've got immense respect for. Really good, solid pro. I actually thought he really gave a good performance against Tony Ferguson. Now, I know Ferguson was putting a hurting on him, but it was definitely 48-47 victory for Tony Ferguson. But I thought he really gave a good performance of himself, and especially coming off that loss to Eddie Alvarez, where I think there was a lot of shit that went down on the weight cut of that week, and he passed out in the tub, I think it was, had a rough weight cut. Really like the fact that he's left that division. He says that he can't make it. He can make it, but it's like a death sentence to do that. Move up to a division where you're not killing yourself, and to be honest with you, that's the way the sport should be going, because people like Whittaker moved up from 170 to 185 and it's looked fantastic. I think he's got a huge chance of becoming a middleweight champion up there. He's got a tough fight against Yoel. What a fucking fight that's going to be at UFC 213. I'm really looking forward to that. Like my man Dan Levy says, I think it's going to be the best fight we see in 2017. Wholeheartedly agree with him. But getting back onto this here, Saffiedine, you know what you're going to get with this guy. Coming off a decision loss to Yeon Kim, where he could have won that fight, definitely. Solid striker, puts everything together on the feet very well. I don't think he throws with enough volume. Really nice leg kicks. I think he needs to. His grappling's okay as well. I mean, he worked with Dan Henderson for many years, and he's got an alright kind of grappling game. Can use takedowns. I think he even took down Yeon Kim, who I think is a better grappler than him. I just think the way I've been going with this one, I like RDA. I think he's I just think he's a really good pro, and I think he puts everything together well. I think he's striking. He's got some vicious striking himself. He's got some big leg kicks. He's got a nice big left straight that he throws all the time as well. Really, I quite like his footwork as well. And I just think he spent majority of this camp out there in Singapore, which I really, really like. I can't remember what camp he's with anymore, because I know he's not with King's MMA anymore. Evolve, that's who it is. He's out there at Evolve. But when he's back in America, I'm not sure who he's with there. But I think this will be close. I can see Rafael mixing up a little bit, getting a couple of takedowns here and there, maybe putting him against the fence and just using some dirty boxing to keep Saffiedine there and winning rounds through that. I like Rafael dos Anjos via a decision. 29-28, 30-27, I think it'll be in that region. I'm going to go 29-28. I can see Tarec at least getting one round here. And I'm going to go RDA via a decision victory in that one there. Staying in the welterweight division. Really good fight. A fight I've had a lot of back and forth with some friends with regarding this. Yeon Kim, the stun gun, against Colby Covington. Really good matchmaking, really good fight here. I think that, rightly enough, Colby Covington got a shot at a top 15 guy. I think he's been deserving of that since he put this little streak together. We'll start with Yeon Kim. I mean, the guy really has only lost to the kind of elite of the division. I think Tyron Woodley beat him, Carlos Condit beat him, Damian Maia beat him. But this is the guy who's been around for the UFC for the longest time. In fact, I'm going to go have a look, because it can't be far off 10 years that this guy's probably been in the UFC. Because I think I remember watching him at UFC 100 with my very own eyes. Yeah, he was before that, holy shit. UFC 94, UFC 88, UFC 84. Wow, is it really that far back? 2008, so he's coming on 10 years next year. Wow, that's crazy. This guy's been around for the longest time. He's lost to only the best guys. He's beat some decent guys, but he's also beat a lot of guys who he should be beating. So beating guys like Dom Waters and Josh Buckman, he did get a little bit hurt in that one. But beating good guys like Saffiedine, he beat Matt Brown back in the day, and Sayar, he beat Eric Silva. Not that Eric Silva is anything really anymore, I was, but if you are watching fights back then, Eric Silva did have some hype behind him, a lot of hype. But the guy, he's a judoka by trade, really good hips, really hard to take down, and he's wild. The guy is wild, and that's come on. The more his striking's come on, when he came into the UFC, he was a grappler. He was going to take you down. He was going to really stay on top of you, and he was going to put a hurting you here, hurting on you on that, and just stifle the shit out of you. He did that for a lot of his early on fights. Then he came into where he just got wild. Eric Silva, that knockout was crazy. John Hathaway, spinning back elbow, one of the best knockouts of 2014, I believe it was. And yeah, but the guy, we only really see him once a year again. He was supposed to face Gunnar Nilsson in Belfast. It was a fight I was looking forward to seeing. But from the conversations that I've been having with, I know my boy Justin from UFC BroPicks is supremely heavy on Colby Covington here, and I'm not like that, because I think when a guy's been in the UFC for 10 years and you are completely downplaying his opponent, who's faced really better guys than what Colby Covington is, and beat guys who I think are around the same kind of skill level. I think he's getting a lot of kind of disrespect, and not just Justin. I've spoken to a few other guys, the guys over on MMA betting tips, MMA betting sharks on Facebook. Some guys are really high in Colby Covington, and I can see why they are. Definitely see why they are extremely confident in Colby Covington. He seems to be putting it all together. We all know that this guy's I think he's a 4-time NCAA wrestler, and you can see the guy's going to get I can see him getting takedowns in this one. I don't see him keeping Yeon Kim there though, and I can see Yeon Kim actually taking Covington down as well. I think that he's got the strength and maybe some of the grappling to take Covington down. If he took Covington down, I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. On the feet, Colby is a guy who's ever improving, and you can see that in his fights. He showed that in the Barbarena fight, was more confident to stay on the feet and to really show that he's got those skills there. He's always going to have the grappling skills, and he's always going to have that. He took down like Barbarena like 11 or 12 times in that fight. I watched that this afternoon as well, and I think he purposely let Barberena up a few times to show that he's got strike in it and he's willing to stand in the pocket and trade a little bit. But I don't think you can go from beating people like Max Griffin, Jonathan Meunier. Barberena's a step up from them two, but then this is a step up or two from Barberena to Yeon Kim. I think that for DraftKings, this guy could be a really good play, but also I think that we can see. I think it could be a good play, but I don't see him getting as many takedowns as we have seen in previous fights. But by the simple fact that Yeon Kim is a far better opponent than what he has faced, this is a clear step up. I think that the last time he made a step up was Vale Alves, or one of the times was Vale Alves. He put his head in a position there, and we all know that Alves has got a tight squeeze and he choked him out there. I thought he made another step up from the two, Mooney and the Griffin, to Barberena, who's very, very tough and very easy, 30-27. It's no, maybe even 30-26 in that one. I just think that he's going to try so hard in the grappling aspect here that he's going to get caught, he's going to get put against the fence. I can see, as I say, I can see Kim getting takedowns. I think on the feet, maybe 50-50, but Kim's wild and he throws wild shit, and he's a big lump of guy. So, like I said, I can see Covington getting takedowns. I can see it being fairly close on the feet. He has to watch out for Yeon Kim. I think the grappling is clearly Covington's a better grappler, but don't downplay Yeon Kim's judo ability to maybe put Covington against the fence and get a takedown. And I think the rounds are going to be close. If Covington can't get Yeon Kim down or exchange on the feet and him get the better of it, it's going to be very, very close. So for that, I'm going to go. I actually changed my pick. I was going to go Colby Covington. The last few days I've been telling my good friends out there I was going to go with Colby. And today I actually changed my mind. I'm going to go Yeon Kim via a very close 29-28 decision. Not confident because I can see the talent that Colby's got, but I like Yeon Kim in this one. I just feel more confident picking him after watching the fights again. 29-28 margin, very, very close margin of victory there for the stun gun. Moving on to the co-main event of the night, we have Andrei Arlovski against Marcin Tybura. Like Tybura in this one, I must admit. I think that Arlovski is shot, but you can never rule out the old guys like I did a little bit with Mark Hunt, which is such a stupid thing. But with heavyweights, you never know what's going to happen. They can lose 3 and then they can win 3 or 4. It's a weird thing. But I think that Tybura's a guy I'm fairly high on since he came into the UFC. I thought I was watching this guy in the regionals over there in Poland, good guy, fairly decent, everything, big lump of guy, starting to put his striking together now. And he basically, in his last fight with Luis Enrique, he just kind of bided his time and waited for Enrique to fade. And once he faded, he really put it on Enrique in that one and got the stoppage victory at UFC 208, I think it was, back in Brooklyn. And then he's got the step up here to Andrei Arlovski, who I think is pretty short as a fighter, but you can never rule him out because I've ruled him out before and he's proved me wrong before. So, but he's coming off 4 losses, is it? Of course, yeah. Stipe, Overeem, Barnett, Ngannou. Out of them 3, like Barnett, I think he's on his way out, but people like Overeem has changed his style up, fights really, really well, caught him with a big shot in that one. Stipe just ran through him, and Ngannou just, like, literally, as soon as he hit him the first time, Arlovski just didn't look the same, and then he was out. Ngannou's the guy coming through that division, we all know it, and he could go all the way at the top. I believe he can. Hope he gets a fight announced fairly soon. I just think that Tybura, to start off with, this could be maybe a little bit of a clinch fest. I can see him maybe wanting to clinch with Arlovski, being close, being in the clinch, just being, maybe putting him against the fence, use dirty boxing, and I think he can catch him from there as well. I don't want to see him with his back against the fence with Arlovski using the dirty boxing, because that could build the confidence of Arlovski. But I think once it gets out in the open playing field, I think that the chin of Arlovski is gone, and if he gets hit with any decent shot, I think that he will go down. So the pick's going to be Marcin Tybura. I think that midway through round number 2, I think Arlovski is going to gas, and I think that that's when Tybura will realise this, come on and take him out. So the pick's going to be Marcin Tybura, TKO round number 2 in that one. And then the main event, which, I mean, I know we've had some really bad main events for 2017, and we have. It's not been the best year for the UFC, in all honesty. But fucking Holm versus Bethe here as a main event is weird, to say the least. Yeah, it's just a weird one. To be honest with you, not overly looking forward to the fight, but I do have a pretty strong lean on where I'm going. I think a lot of people are the same here. The pick will be definitely Holm. This is a fight, I think, to get her a win, to kind of just get her a win, basically, because I thought personally that she beat Germaine de Randamie at UFC 208 for that featherweight strap, and I mean the featherweight division has went completely tits up. There's talks of Cyborg against Megan Anderson at UFC 214. I hope they do put that together, and I'll be cheering on Megan Anderson for that one. But yeah, Holm, I thought she got hit with a few illegal shots in that one. She hurt Germaine through the fight in that one. But we know what she's going to do here. I think she's going to just be on her bite. She's going to be peppering Bethe here as she comes in close. I think she's the longer fighter. She can use her kicks to keep Bethe here at distance, and I think that's what she's pretty much going to do for the majority of the fight. And then once Bethe here fades, which I think she will, it'd be interesting to see if she can go 5 rounds. I don't think she can. Very confident that Holm can. She has done in the past with better fighters, I think, than Bethe here. But I mean, Bethe is coming off that draw with Marion Renault, where she might have, I thought that Renault came back into it very late in that one, but I thought she maybe should have got the decision, and then she got that split, which I don't think she deserved over Jessica Eye, and before that she lost to Raquel Pennington and Ronda Rousey. I think she's going to enter the range here of Bethe here, of Holm, and Holm's going to uncork either a big straight and follow it with another combination, or she's going to catch her with a head kick. I think it could be a prime example where Holm could use those kicks again, keep her at distance, and as she rushes in, maybe throw up a high kick. And we have seen in the past that Holm can put people down with that. She put Rousey down, she put people in the regionals before she hit the UFC down with that. So this could be a fight that she could uncork that high kick again and maybe knock her out. I like her inside the distance. It was a better scene last week, but it went missing over here. It was plus 400 for Holm by TKO, and it's went missing from the UK books. Can't find it over here, but I might make a bet on this one, depending if I can get a really good line by like Holm by TKO, or I can't remember. I think it was plus 120 under 4.5 rounds, something I may look at. Overall, I pretty like this card for DraftKings. I've got a few strong leans where I'm going to be going, but pick's going to be Holm. I think she's going to knock her out. I think rounds maybe 3, 4. I'm going to go round number 4 knockout for Holm. I think she's just going to pepper with strikes. Too fast, too clinical, too accurate. Struggling to see where Bethe will have an advantage in this one, in all honesty. But the pick's going to be Holm, TKO round number 4. So that's my picks there for UFC Fight Night 111 from Singapore. I think we've got a week. I think it's a Sunday card. We've got Kevin Lee against Michael Case. I'm looking forward to that fight. Going back and forward in that pick, I think I know who I'm going to go with, but I keep changing my mind. And that's a decent card, some decent fights throughout there as well. As I say, thank you all very, very much for watching. I really do appreciate the support. You guys are awesome. From the bottom of my heart, thank you very much. Come follow me on Twitter, Will Martin MMA. And if you ever want to talk about fights, you know where I am. Leave the comments in the drop down box below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Enjoy this card when it comes round, and all the best for your bets, your DraftKings. If I don't win my bets or win DraftKings, I hope you guys win it. So all the best. I'll see you all very, very soon.